Wow. Man, lights, Tim Black, lights, a little bit of light. All right. All right. What up, everybody? How y'all doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. Man, and I'm happy to see y'all, man. Hey, I'm like, man, don't tell me I got technical difficulties up in this joint. Man, I tell you. I got my tea. I got my Tim Black Woodpack. How's the volume? Can you hear me? Can you hear me on the airwaves, man? The internet waves, I guess you call it. All right, so I want to give it up to my people on X, my people on Facebook, and of course, my folks on YouTube. My moderators in the house. Buck Bewley and Black Mamba in the house, y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Feeling good. Feeling right. Feeling right, people. All right, so look, guys, if you're new to the show, we do politics, black culture, and breaking news on this channel. And up to the very last moment, I'm grabbing news. I'm like, oh, I got to include this. And oh, I got to make this segment. So I got a lot in store for you tonight, guys. Hope that you know this is a passion of mine to deliver the best show I can possibly deliver to my audience, man. I want to thank everybody that supports the Tim Black Show, everybody who shares it, who gives people a glimpse of it, who lets friends know, who tells people, who rocks the Wolfpack merchandise, a little bit of the swag, lets people know about it, promote it, and word of mouth. Man, I appreciate y'all, because I know you don't have to do that. And I appreciate you spreading the word about this show that we put on here. Speaking of spreading the word, this is a Tim Black Legacy mug, folks. It's my Politics for the People mug. And it's $20 to your door. I take care of shipping. People hate paying extra for shipping. So no matter where you are in the country, I get it to your door for $20. Yeah, go to timblackmug.com and get your mug. You know, it's a mean mug. Don't mean mug me, but I got a mean mug, fam. Yo, so, wow, I'm checking out the crew. I got my people in the building. They came through anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, Uli? How you doing? Waggy, dear self. Yo, I messed around and my tea got cold. But that's okay. As long as I got a little bit of that honey in it. I left my spoon. I'm sorry, guys. I got to get the honey from my throat. I got to mix it up, you know? Unique Organics. Mr. Melody's in the building. As well as, who else is here, man? Let me get a quick roll call, man. Let me get out my people. Shane Moore. What up, fam? All right. Shadow Band. Nah, man, you ain't Shadow Band. Oh, that's his name, Shadow Band. All right. Black Rose in the building. LJ up in here. Yeah. Who else we got? Mike Hughes is in the building, as well as D. Harris. Yo. Scrolling, MacArthur's in the building. What's up, MacArthur? How you doing, fam? Your name sounds like you legit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody named MacArthur come through. I'm saying make sure everything buttoned up. You know what I mean? That ain't no punk name right there. That's a name right there. That's, you know, that's got a lot of letters in it. Got, consonants in that. MacArthur. That reminds me of my boy Radcliffe, Mr. Radcliffe from OCDA. My man from OCDA. I need to get him on the show, man. Dude is hilarious. It's a real company with real complaints. Yo, what's going on? What's going on, people? How y'all doing? I'm just glad we made it, Desmond. And what's up, Donald Moore? Hunter Roy. Or is that Ray? That's Hunter Ray right there, yo. That's Hunter Ray. Mrs. Ray's boy. That's who that is. Brenda Starr's in the building. How you doing, Brenda? Is that my Brenda? Now, that ain't, I think that would be Brenda Moore. Who else is here, man? Who else is here? I'm trying to get to the top of the list of Made Premium Denim. What up, Made Premium Denim? Aline Dorsent? Elaine Dorsent in the house. Making me stretch my Antonia. Diamond G. AT and Robero's up in the house, man. I appreciate y'all. Bruce Newsom, as always. Val, Anthony McDowell. And yeah, man, I got a good list. That's a good list of folks, man. We got a lot happening, man. Hope y'all feeling all good, man. Tonight we got a lot to cover on this politics show. The title of tonight's show is Karmelo Anthony's Updates. Shannon Sharpe is cooked. Shannon Sharpe cooked in the Democrat Saviour. And let's go ahead and get into the show, man, because we got so much to cover, man. We got a lot to do here, fam. Let's go ahead into the Austin. Let's go to Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony updates. Let's start off with that. So I'm not going to bore you guys with the details of what took place because we all know too well, right? But I do want to bring you up to date on this. So let's get this going here. Okay. Why is that not doing what that do? Hold on a second, guys. There we go. Okay, so wondering what was going on. Okay, so here go the updates for the Austin Metcalf story and the Karmelo Anthony updates as well. Okay, so the family of Austin Metcalf, who was fatally stabbed. Latest and the greatest on the case goes as follows. They've been swatted. Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, that's the father here. I don't know if it was his house or if it was the mother's house because they don't live together. They don't live together. They're separated or divorced. So, yeah. So I'm not sure exactly whose house was swatted, but according to reports, the family of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, who was fatally stabbed at the Frisco High School track meet on April 2nd, was targeted by a swatting incident on Thursday, April 17th. Now, for anybody who's unaware of what swatting is, that's when someone makes an unnecessary prank call to the authorities and says that there's an emergency at your address. And this alerts a SWAT team to an address as an harassment tactic. In this case, officers responded with guns drawn to a fake report of gunshots at the Metcalf home. This marks the second swatting incident targeting the Metcalf family, with a previous occurrence on April 8th. So, yeah, just want to pause for a second and say how uncool that is. Worse than uncool, that can cause death. Yeah, that can cause death, and that's besides it being against the law, that's some real punk stuff to do. It's very dangerous to make that call, and I don't understand why whoever's doing it, I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish. Now, there's a couple different schools of thought here. One could be that there are actually some fools that think this is hilarious. These are people that are not adjusted to life in the real world, who have a horrible sense of humor. There could also be people that want to cause harm. Okay? That's another case scenario. Could be people hoping that something bad happens when the SWAT teams show up. And then it could be a possibility that it could be someone who wants to shift blame on to who wants to shift blame over onto the Carmelo Anthony supporters and further, kind of kick dirt on the Carmelo Anthony supporters. So that's possible. I'm not going to put that past it because I think it's something we'd have to consider. I think if it was reverse was happening, people would consider that. But we don't condone it, we don't support it, and we want to call it out because it is wrong. It's categorically wrong to swat at this man's home. Jeff Metcalf had attended the press conference earlier that day, but was escorted out by Dallas police. So this happened on the same day that they had the press conference? Was that Thursday, April 17th? So the same day that he has showed up. Oh, man. It's looking like this was a retaliation effort. Yeah. Folks, this looks like retaliation. Don't it look like retaliation to you? I mean, we can't be certain, but we can make assumptions about what's happening. So the same day that Jeff Metcalf shows up uninvited to a press conference by the Carmelo Anthony family is the same day he gets swatted for the second time. And he was swatted before, according to this. I thought it was a total of 3. Jeff Metcalf expressed concern to CBS News that someone could be injured or killed as a result of these swatting incidents, which have forced him to leave his job. Wow. You know what, folks? We're not getting the reporting, a robust reporting of what's been happening with this case from both sides. Because I have looked at updates, so I have not heard that this was happening to Jeff Metcalf. Both families involved in the case claim to be facing harassment and threats, which brings me to the second part of my update. Let's get into that. Okay. As reported as well, that Jeff Metcalf, the Metcalf family, is not the only ones getting threats and having harassing been done by the public. We also have the Carmelo Anthony family that received numerous amounts of death threats, to the point where they have moved Carmelo Anthony into an undisclosed location for his own safety. That's right. They had to stash him away because of the number of death threats have increased. Now, I do know that there were death threats that they were receiving that weren't just for Carmelo Anthony, but also for his siblings. So the entire family was on high alert. In fact, the mother reported such at the press conference about the number of death threats that she was receiving. And I just want to say, I did see commenters online making reference to the mother of Carmelo Anthony, who was in tears talking about the lives of her children were being threatened, and that erroneous things were being made up about her and her husband and the family. And there was very little sympathy for Carmelo Anthony's mother. In fact, they called her, I think it was a podcaster. I think it was a podcaster, if I'm not mistaken, who made very light and it said rebuked the mother of Carmelo Anthony for complaining about her and her children's lives being threatened, which I find totally crazy. What is wrong with people? Oh, that's right, viewership. Okay. So both families involved in the case claim that they face harassment and threats. Carmelo's mother, Kayla Hayes, stated her family was receiving death threats, as I just stated, and her husband has taken leave from work due to harassment. So here, this is where we are, folks. Both families are under so much pressure from the public. Both families, that both men in the family have had to take off work, have to leave their jobs because they can't be in public because, well, America's too rowdy. America's too vengeful. And that says a lot about who we are as a country. You know what I'm saying? that both of the fathers who had nothing to do with anything, like these fathers weren't involved, neither were the siblings. And families are in hiding, and they both had to leave their jobs. And then people had the audacity to ask, what's going on with money? Well, if people had to leave their jobs and can't be at home, how could you ask them what are they doing with money that they're receiving, that they're raising? They have to stay somewhere. Man, I tell you, man, one of the worst things about covering these types of cases is the backlash from the public and people that are just totally unreasonable and make all types of claims because they want to ride for their side of the ball. Man, can we all just say, hey, whatever's happening here that's against the law, that's what's happening here, it shouldn't be happening. And their families should not be threatened to this extent at all. Whatever you think about Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, whatever you think about Karmelo Anthony, and was he self-defense or was he over the top or whatever you think, what's that got to do with his little brother and sister? What's that got to do with his mother? Okay, so, but see, we're reasonable people. Most of the people watching are reasonable people, and we would not condone such. You know, all we want at the end of the day, all I want, and hopefully all most reasonable people want, most of my 10 Black Wolfpack that watch, and I would like to say all of my 10 Black Wolfpack, unless we got some infiltrators in the house, we just want some justice, baby. And we want Karmelo Anthony to be treated the same way you treated Daniel Penny. We want Karmelo Anthony treated the same way you treated Zimmerman. We want Karmelo Anthony treated the same way you treated Kyle Rittenhouse. Hell, that's all we want. And if you got a problem with me saying that, first go talk to your cousins. Talk to your cousins, your drunk uncles, your brothers, your fathers, and your sons and daughters who applauded the exonerations of all those people or the acquittals of all those people I just named. And some of them have been held up as heroes. So when you pointing the finger at Karmelo Anthony's supporters, and all I want is justice, that's all I want. I want him judged fairly. I have not seen the evidence, neither have you. They have not released the body cam footage. Well, not the body cam footage, even though they do have that. But I'm more interested in seeing the actual footage from people that were there at the time. That's what we want to see. So I'm waiting to see that. And until that time, like if I see that footage and it's grossly different than I envision it, then I'm prepared as an honorable person who rides for Black America but rides for justice always. I'm always open to changing my opinion. Anybody with ethics and integrity, given different facts, will change their opinion. Given facts, new facts become revealed. We should be able to change our opinion if those facts lead us in another direction. But as it stands right now, he's innocent until proven guilty. He does not deserve death threats. Neither does his family. That should go without saying. In fact, neither deserve death threats. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose. So anybody out there who's doing anything to either one of these families is crossing the line, and I hope that they are apprehended and charged. That's what I would hope. One other thing I'd like to point out, guys, I think I got a couple things, and one thing I want to point out is, and I was hoping that when I was going to give you this update, that I'd be able to tell you that Mr. Alexander, I think his name is, Dominique, I was hoping I'd be able to tell you that he's no longer representing the family. I put out content from the press conference after understanding who the National Action, whatever that organization is, that's providing security and doing some PR work for the Karmelo Anthony family. I have to say that based on that press conference, I was unimpressed. I don't feel like if you're doing PR work that you should be coming out advocating for yourself, having to defend yourself, and using any time at all, diverting any time or any function, any focus off the family of Karmelo Anthony and onto yourself. I think that was totally unnecessary. And based on that, I said, this guy does not look like he's ready for prime time. And then the evidence and information is coming out about a prior record and all this stuff. And this is all a distraction from what I believe the Anthonys are going to need in order to have a successful case. But it doesn't look like that's happened. And I'm disappointed in that. Not that I'm saying that people can't change their stripes, not that people can't grow and change. What I'm saying is, I see this as being too big for Karmelo Anthony's life, for it to be the proving ground to see if you've changed. And I was basing my decision on my encouragement for the Karmelo Anthony family to find different representation based on the actual performance during the press conference. Be that as it may, folks, I'm going to give you updates on this case as it winds through our process. We're still waiting to find out what the new developments are going to be, so we're waiting on the footage. We're waiting to find out if there's going to be a change of venue, what's going to happen with that. There was a new lawyer put in place since the beginning. They did find new counsel. We've already reported on that. I forget his name, but there's a new attorney, a defense attorney for Karmelo Anthony. Yeah. And that's where we are. That's where we are. And I think that's all we have. I think that's all we have on the updates for the case. I just have you know that the Frisco police stated that they're working with both families to ensure their safety as the case progresses. And as we all know, as I reported, swatting incidents have become increasingly more popular over the years. This is an intimidation tactic targeting high-profile individuals or those involved in controversial cases. So it's not out of the ordinary that once your address is out there and you got people with an axe to grind, that you too can become a victim of that. I think that's all we have here for the actual updates. Now I'd like to go to part 2 to the updates to the Karmelo Anthony story with a focus on another story. Okay, so as I was doing my investigation, trying to find out some more background, trying to do a robust reporting on Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf's story, I ran across another story that also took place in Texas. Just so happens there's another story in Texas of a similar background. This involved Casey Allison and a Joe Ramirez. Joe Ramirez. This happened a few years ago. And I don't know if I printed out that sheet, but you know what I have, guys? I don't have that sheet in front of me, but what I do have is I have videotape from a news report that brings us pretty much up to date on it. But I have you know, this case sounds eerily similar to the one that we're discussing with the Metcalfs and Anthonys. Let's cut to that.
Well, the prosecution rested its case today in the murder trial of Casey Allison. Allison is accused of stabbing classmate Joe Ramirez nearly 3 years ago. 6 News reporter Sydney Walker is back in the courtroom. So, Sydney, what happened today?
Today was the longest day of the trial thus far. Detective Gene Cole, who was the primary detective on the investigation into the stabbing at Belton High, was on the stand for almost 5 hours, and that's just today. This isn't including his testimony from yesterday as well. After the state rested its case, the defense called 3 witnesses in the last hour of today. The full over an hour-long video of detectives' initial questioning of Allison was shown to the jury today. The video shows Allison lying his head down on the desk and eventually lying on the ground and vomiting in a trash can. In the video, Allison revealed that he took the knife from his stepdad's closet that morning out of fear of being jumped by Ramirez, and also that before Ramirez had punched him, he had pulled the knife out and told Ramirez, quote, "Don't touch me or I'm going to stab you." What followed was a long period of pushback from the defense regarding the overall investigation. They asked why Allison was questioned even though he was visibly ill, why Allison was not Mirandized in a more serious matter, and why Cole did not view security footage previously. They also asked once again why phones were not collected at the scene before the lockdown was lifted. The prosecution rested their case just before 4 p.m., and the defense then called 3 witnesses. First was the doctor who treated Allison in the emergency department. He confirmed that Allison was given a CT scan to rule out serious head injuries like a brain bleed or skull fracture, and also confirmed his diagnosis of a closed head injury. Next was a close friend of Allison who was supposed to fight alongside Allison in the planned fight off campus. He said that that fight was supposed to occur around 5 p.m. that day and take place in a 3-on-3 format. Last up was a teacher and coach from Belton High who helped stop Ramirez's brother from chasing Allison down the hallway. He shared that Josh Rios had told him that his brother was stabbed in the bathroom, and the two went to check assuming that Ramirez would still be in there. After that, he took Josh to the nurse's office and kept him in there, assuming that, quote, the best way to help Joe was to let the nurses work. In cross-examination, the accuracy of claims made by Allison's friend about who initiated the planning of the fight altogether was questioned, and Snapchat group chats were discussed. We ended right at 5 p.m. today, but we'll be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow to hear the defense continue their case. In Belton, Sydney Walker, 6 News.
All right, thank you for the update, Sydney.
Wow, as you can see, man, there was a lot there. And as you were hearing the details of the story, of the case, you'll get my point where I say there's a lot of similarities between the two, but there are also some very stark differences. Let's talk about the things they have in common. Well, Karmelo Anthony has been noted in testimony that he stated twice 2 warnings to Austin Metcalf. One of them was, don't touch me. The other was, if you hit me, you're going to be sorry. Now, there were people that drew a lot of conclusions from that. Most of the conclusions that I've seen the conservatives draw, for instance, have been that that was mocking. That was inviting Austin to attack him. And I seem to look at it the other way. I look at it like someone warning you. Someone saying, hey, keep your hands off of me. Doesn't sound like somebody who wants to fight with you. Sounds like somebody who just wants not to be touched. And when Karmelo said, if you hit me, you're going to, if you hit me, you're going to be in trouble or something to that extent. That doesn't sound like he wants to be hit so that they can get it on. It sounds like what it is. It sounds like a warning, like, hey. And it's just amazing that people see that so differently depending on, I don't know, maybe the person that their affinity or their feelings about Austin Metcalf, I think is kind of clouding their judgment here. But be that as it may, so we take the case of Allison, he said something very similar. In fact, he said, don't touch me. Almost verbatim the same words that Karmelo Anthony said to Austin Metcalf, don't touch me. It's very close to get your hands off me. And he also warned him and showed him the knife and says, if you touch me, I'm going to stab you. I don't think the jury or the judge took Allison saying that to mean, hey, hit me, touch me. We can have some fun. We can get it on. I think the judge took it the same way I took it when I read that Karmelo Anthony said it. As a warning, as him saying, I don't want further engagement with you. Looks like the judge saw it that way anyway. I wonder what the difference is. Because they let Mr. Kaysen Allison out on a $170,000 bond. Now, this is a little bit less than the Karmelo Anthony bond of $250,000. Now, what's similar about the cases is both of the bonds for both of the boys started at $1 million, and then they both were reduced. Another, so a dissimilarity or something that's not similar about the cases is it does sound like the case in Allison we're being totally honest, there was a lot more going on there. There appears to be a planned event. Like this was a planned fight that they were going to have. And it wasn't just going to be amongst Mr. Ramirez and Mr. Allison. It was going to be others involved. In fact, they said it was going to be a 3-on-3 fight. For some reason, in this planned fight, Allison felt it was necessary to bring a knife. This was actually, to me, this sounded more premeditated. I mean, he knew he was going to get into a fight. They had planned it. They knew where they were going to fight. He had picked fight partners. And still, he's been out on bail for 3 years. And it had made news nationally. But we know the difference in that, right? One of the differences is the makeup of the individuals. We have Karmelo Anthony, a Black American, and we have Austin Metcalf, a white American. But the difference is, well, you know, Casey Allison is a white American, and Joe Ramirez is a Latino American. He may be Mexican, I'm not sure, but he is Latino. So there you go. That's one of the differences. As typical, as we stated before, man, one of the worst things about it is we all have the feeling, everyone I've talked to about the case feels like it's the reason why it gets such publicity and people are so upset is because of the racial dynamics. The racial dynamics has made it so. And that's what's so unfortunate about it. For the record, for this channel, for me, Tim Black, hey, I wish it never happened. I wish cooler heads would have prevailed. I wish that somebody would have intervened. I wish that people would get their facts right. I wish that an adult would have been present. I wish that somebody there would have cooled things out. I wish that Karmelo Anthony did not feel threatened to the point where he needed to escalate things or even have to defend himself. I wish it never took place. And I think it's nothing wrong to say that. And I wish, among all things, I wish that Austin Metcalf just would have kept his hands to himself. I wish he would have heeded the words of Karmelo Anthony and not felt it was his job to grab people or lay hands on people that aren't his child. And that's just sad because a loss of life is such a tragedy. And Karmelo Anthony's life is forever changed, and both families are forever changed. So it's just horrible all the way around. I wish it never took place. But what we're going to do on this channel, folks, we're going to keep updating you to the updates on this trial. We're invested not only emotionally, but we're invested in justice as it pertains to our young people, and we want to see the outcome be just. So let's hope that Karmelo Anthony gets a fair trial. Let's stay engaged and use our voices to call out anything that we see that looks like there's, bias by the courts. That's all I got on this story so far. Let's look for a speedy trial. The Allison case, like I stated, it occurred back in 2022, and it's just now going to trial. But it is now at the defense. The defense is now putting on its case. So the prosecution is arrested, and now it's time for the defense. Which means they could have a verdict as soon as the end of the week. All right. That's all I got, guys. Let me know what you think about this story. Let me know your thoughts. If you got any information that I forgot or missed, please send that to Tim at timblacktv.com. We do our best, but hey, we do a lot of this with the help of the community. So if you got ideas, tips, advice, information, what have you, send it over to Tim at timblacktv.com. Once again, I should say, my condolences to the Metcalf family and to the Karmelo Anthony family. Our thoughts are with you, and we hope that you and your children remain safe as well. And to the swatters, who's ever calling in the SWATs, this is unhelpful. This is unhelpful, and it's dangerous. Stand down, please. All right, guys. Now, let's move on, folks. Let's move on. Let's move on. Is that it here? Yeah, that's it. Just clean up some things here, guys. I got a lot of files open here. Next, we want to go on over. We're going to move over to the who's that? Now, let's move over to Shannon Sharpe, folks. Yeah, let's get to Shannon Sharpe because I like it when I call things right. I knew that Shannon Sharpe case was going to get serious. And I shouldn't say case because, it is a lawsuit. So I guess you can say case. Here we go, guys. Goodness gracious, I got 3 sheets of paper on Shannon Sharpe. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe, there's been some updates in this Shannon Sharpe mess. Okay, so let's get into Shannon Sharpe updates. Here we go. Update number 1. The woman that we know her name to be Brigetta Zuniga is her name. She did file a lawsuit for $50 million. But what has changed since the last time we spoke about it? Well, as I forecast yesterday, Shannon Sharpe is taking a leave of absence away from ESPN. Yep, that's right, folks. He's out of there. Kind of knew that was going to happen. Temporary step away. On April 24th, Sharpe announced he would temporarily step away from his ESPN duties, including his role on First Take. First Take. Yeah, to focus on his family and address the allegations. He stated his intent to return by the start of the NFL preseason, but ESPN's final decision on his return remains uncertain. Sources indicating double doubts about Shannon Sharpe coming back to work. I mean, come on, guys. What do we expect? I think even allowing Shannon Sharpe to go out there and make that statement was a way to try to help him save face. Because it's a wrap. I mean, folks, keep it a buck. I mean, there have been other people that work for ESPN who did far less who were terminated. Paul Pierce comes to mind. I think he put out a video on social media with the woman scantily clothed. Isn't that the way you're supposed to put it? Scantily clothed. And they let him go immediately. They fired him like a 357. That's right. They fired him like a bazooka. Just because he was being, I don't know, kind of racy with the language. That was it. Caught him at a party talking about doing something sexual, and that was a wrap. So, yeah, to me, I mean, it was obvious that this was going to happen. ESPN did respond. ESPN stated they did issue a statement, folks. ESPN issued a statement of supporting Sharpe's decision to step away, which I don't see that as anything other than saying, yeah, good idea. Step away. You're toxic. Calling the situation serious. The network has not publicly disciplined Sharpe or commented on his permanent status, but internal discussions, as reported by Stephen A. Smith, indicate ESPN is closely reviewing the matter. Which brings me to another point of this. I don't know what's up with Stephen A. Smith. He's in a bad situation. I know a lot of people are coming down on Stephen A. You know, he's talking about he's running for the Democratic nomination for 2028, and, you know, he's covering himself, covering his own butt. Look, Stephen A. He hooked, according to him, and according to Sharpe, at one point, they said Stephen A. was Sharpe's best friend. He helped him get a job after he left from Skip Bayless. So it appeared that maybe Stephen A. may be in hot water himself, and he don't want to jeopardize his money. You know what I'm saying? Isn't it kind of like the worst scenario you can imagine? You help somebody get a job, and then they end up in hot water, and it reflects badly on you. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst situation to be in. And then that's something we all worry about whenever we want to, recommend somebody for something. because we don't know if that person can be trusted not to make us look bad. Well, here goes a good example why people don't do it. Yeah, not a good look at all. So I want to say, people criticizing Stephen A. Stephen A. looking out for himself. Well, who else is he going to look out for? I mean, he already did enough when he helped Shannon Sharpe bounce back from Skip Bayless, put money in his pocket. What, he got to also, police Shannon Sharpe to keep him on the straight and narrow? I mean, they already made one mistake. All right, so here we go. Prior ESPN incident, and this is some other updates on the story. In September 2024, as we know, Sharpe Hero live streamed the audio of an encounter on Instagram Live. And now here's the reason why that's important. Initially, Sharpe said he was hacked. Later, he admitted it was a mistake. ESPN did not discipline Sharpe. He continued his regular appearances on First Take. This incident, while unrelated to the lawsuit, has been cited as part of a pattern of distractions for ESPN. So yeah, I mean, as bad as people say that ESPN is, as cutthroat, as swiftly as they got rid of Paul Pierce, they gave Shannon Sharpe a little bit of rope. I mean, that audio does not make ESPN look great. That's not exactly what you want, right? But they did not discipline him over that. So that's something to consider. A lot of breaking news about Shannon Sharpe, man. Here goes another story. Well, another part of the updates for Shannon Sharpe. And this is what I thought was coming. Actually, I thought there was just going to be more releases from the woman in question, right? The woman who filed the lawsuit, Miss Zuniga. This I did not expect. There's new allegations from his FS1 tenure, Shannon Sharpe. On April 24, 2025, an entity called Front Office Sports reported that during Sharpe's time at FS1, that's between 2016 and 2023, as co-host of Undisputed, he was accused of choking a female production assistant in the workplace. Let me repeat that. According to Front Office Sports, during Sharpe's time at FS1, 2016 through 2023, it's reported that Shannon Sharpe had an incident where he put his hands around the throat of a production assistant. Now, no lawsuit was filed, but Fox reportedly settled with the accuser for several $100,000s. Sharpe's representatives deny any choking incident occurred, stating it was a light physical altercation in a playful context, and that Fox chose to resolve the matter privately. It's unclear if this allegation influenced Sharpe's decision to step away from ESPN, but it has added to the scrutiny surrounding him. So there you go. All right, so, and also, that's not it. That's not it, folks. Jesus Christ, that ain't it. In 2010, CBS Sports reports Sharpe was accused of sexual assault and threatened a woman's life. Sexual assault and threatening a woman's life. Leading to a temporary leave. Order was dismissed and he returned to the network. This history has resurfaced in discussions about his current allegations, folks. We may be looking at the last days of Shannon Sharpe, at least for being employed. Now, Club Shay Shay is his. Now, his sponsors may go bye-bye, but Club Shay Shay is his. So one silver lining is that he's got his own footprint. He's got his own platform. But as these allegations swirl, it's a possibility that people may not want to tune in. Wow. I'll say this, guys. Look, Very, very rarely do people get 3 strikes. Okay? Very rarely. So you got an incident at CBS. You got an incident at ESPN. Or was it Fox? I'm getting the incidents mixed up. Anyway, he's got 3 incidents, it looks like. That's a lot of incidents. How many incidents do you have of putting hands on women? I mean, different women. I mean, you may have been in a relationship that was volatile, but I'm talking about 3 different people. What is going on with Shannon Sharpe? That there are 3 incidents that I'm looking at here of people that never met. I don't know. Well, maybe 2. And I know Shannon Sharpe, he says, hey, they were doing some role playing, and him and the latest lawsuit for $50 million is a role playing event. They were both into it. It was consensual, and she's trying to amp it up, and she's trying to set him up for the kill. But what I'm saying is it don't look good on the backdrop of this other stuff. It just doesn't look good. So according to us, as of today, Sharpe is not appearing on ESPN programming, is focusing on his legal defense and family. No criminal charges have been filed, and the civil lawsuit is ongoing, with both sides presenting conflicting evidence. I was expecting more evidence to come out from Busby, which is the lawyer for the accuser. I was not expecting to find out that there are some skeletons in Shannon's closet that are closely related, kind of similar to what he's going through. I got to say, folks, if I'm Shannon Sharpe and I have millions of dollars, maybe I settle this. Maybe I come to terms and settle. I mean, I know it's a lot of money. And I heard what Cameron said, and I heard what Mace said. Shout out to them brothers. Heard what they said, and I heard some other people make comments about it. But I got to say, guys, I mean, I'm not sure if Mace and Cameron saw these updates. Wait till they see these updates. I mean, if the guy has a track record of doing similar things, maybe it's worthwhile for you to go ahead and pay out that 10, maybe 20 mil. Maybe you throw a sweetener on top of that 10 million. You make it 20, you still get your $100 million deal. Remember, according to reports, Shannon Sharpe and this woman have been going back and forth for months trying to settle on a number. He offered 10 mil and it was rejected. I say he should have made it 20 mil. So I don't know. And remember, folks, the allegations that she's making go beyond what we heard on tape. She's alleging assault. And I'm not using the words that rhyme, but I'll say it rhymes with grape. That's part of the allegation. Forcing someone against their will. So this can get very serious, even more serious than it is. Further than just losing losing a job or losing an offer from a company. All right, guys. Jesus Christ. There's some content out there. There's some content out there. I think I played it in the video. I did. Monique. Our sister Monique made some comments on the Club Shay Shay to Shannon Sharpe about exactly this. How Shannon Sharpe need to get an older woman. Stop messing with these young women. Leave them be. And Shannon brushed it off. I saw another clip with Cat Williams. He said something to the same extent. He was like, hey, Cat Williams said he does not fraternize too much. Fraternize that way with certain women. Not because he doesn't like those women, but because he's seen it happen too many times where it leads to the downfall of a brother. And what did Shannon do? He dismissed it again. I saw another clip. I think I have it. I saw another clip. This one was with Ocho Cinco. I think I do have it. Where is it at? Ocho Cinco was having it. It was on their nightcap show. Ocho Cinco was telling him there was a conversation, and Shannon Sharpe was very dismissive. Like, hey, this don't pertain to me. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm Shannon Sharpe. And that's sort of like the attitude, folks. You know, sort of the attitude I get from Shannon Sharpe on this whole thing, leading up to this, has been, I'm Shannon Sharpe. I do what I want to do. He literally said to Ocho Cinco, man, I don't want to date women my age. I don't want to date my age. I want to date my pay scale. I don't know what that means. I guess it means he wants women that he feel are worth more money, I guess. But can a woman be worth, you know? It's just bad when you're equating women with money like that. I get what he's saying, but he considers this woman a high-class woman? I mean, a high pay scale woman? Well, I guess she is. I guess he was right. I guess Bridget sounds like she is, because she's going to cost you, already cost you, it appears to be $100 million upgrade in your current contract with ESPN. So yeah, she's very expensive. She's a $100 million woman. So yeah, I guess he did stand true to his statement where he said he wanted to date his pay scale, not his age. Okay. All I'm saying, folks, is I know a lot of people feel bad for Shannon Sharpe. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for anybody who flies in private jets, who has a $100 million offer on the table and would risk it all because he don't want to throw away additional $10 million when he put himself in that situation. Maybe he thought she would keep coming back, but you lower up and you get a non-disclosure form, get it signed, and get out of your life. I don't feel sorry for him because I feel that Shannon Sharpe did this to Shannon Sharpe. You know, he did this himself. And maybe he needs to take a long look in the mirror and find out, like, what's going on with him in his life. Which leads me to the last point I want to make on it, guys, because I'm sure you heard everybody else talk about it. I'll just say, I don't want to be holier than thou. Anybody can make mistakes. But when you get over 50, it does seem a bit suspect that you can't control yourself at all, that you would be risking this much. And obviously, hindsight is 2020. It's just that Shannon Sharpe had smart people. He had people that seem to give a damn about him, repeatedly telling him. And I just don't think there's anything you can do with a guy who won't listen to anybody but himself. In fact, you know what I'm saying? He won't listen to anybody. Jesus Christ, man. I made mistakes in life, but I've never had Cat Williams pull me aside. I never had Monique pull me aside, you know, and like try to get me right. I was just out there on a iceberg alone, you know what I'm saying? Trying to figure it out with nobody with any information telling me anything good. And still I managed not to do this shit. So, yeah. I'm not trying to kick Shannon Sharpe while he's down, but I got to say, you put yourself in this situation. I don't know. That's it. That's all I got on it. Last thing, now this is a rumor, guys. I can't confirm this, but a lot of people are going with it. So I just want to put it out there because people will say, Tim, you haven't heard about it. Word on the street is that Shaquille O'Neal has beef with Shannon Sharpe. They have beef with one another for whatever reason, I don't know. And there was allegedly on the podcast, I don't know, Shaq put it out there that he had money out there for anybody who had any dirt on Shannon Sharpe. Now that's what I hear. I don't know if it has anything to do with this at all. Did Shaq put Busby on the case? I don't know. You know, but I gotta say, man, it's bad form to have such powerful people not liking your ass. Now, I got some people that don't like me, but I don't have anybody that don't like me enough that they spend money trying to mess up my life. And I don't got beef with anybody. As bad as things have gone with me with certain people I used to work with in media, I've never felt an inclination to spend $1 trying to get at them, nor do I sit around hoping for their demise, nor would I have anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering what kind of bad blood has transpired between him and Shaq that anybody would think it would come to this. Now, I don't think you could say it was Shaq. To me, it sounds a little convenient, and it takes Sharpe out of ownership of his own drama, which is what I don't like. Yeah, you don't get to blame Shaq for this, because even if Shaq or anybody had something to do with it, it couldn't be done without Sharpe dropping the ball. So let's not push Shaq in on this. Because no matter who did it, no matter who, if anyone did anything, it took Sharpe to make it happen. Yeah, he ain't been framed. This ain't a Denzel Washington movie. What's that Denzel Washington movie where somebody, it's called Fallen, that's it. Go check out the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington, where it was creepy spiritual things going on, like evil demons making you appear like you did something when you didn't do something, or possessing you and doing things. This is crazy. But it's an old Denzel joint. If you're a real fan of Denzel Washington, you will remember it. You may know about it. It's called Fallen. Denzel Washington, John Goodman from Roseanne. But that's not the case, okay? That's not what happened here. Shannon Sharpe was not body doubled. Nobody cloned Shannon. Shannon did it. Okay, he had a relationship with this person, and not to beat a dead horse, guys, but Jesus Christ, 19 years old, Shannon Sharpe, 19. What are you, Woody Allen? What is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, black people don't respect Woody Allen. People love to say stuff like, "Oh, Tim Black, come on, Tim." There's white guys that do say, "Yeah, but we don't respect them, no, and we don't call them unk." We call them pervs. So don't hit me with the, "Oh, but Tim, white guys get to get away." Yeah, get away. People get away with all types of stuff. This is what you get away with, and it's if you can never show your face again. And what I'm saying is, he right on the borderline, man, 19. And I don't care. You say, "Oh, Tim, she's a working lady. She's a OnlyFans model." That got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with it. It's got to do with him. Last thing, and I'm going to land my plane here, guys. Last thing. We have responsibility to our families and our friends. We have responsibility to our children to try to do our best, not to shame everybody, okay? And maybe some people don't need that much money if the money is going to take you so far out of character when you shame everybody. No, we got to move differently than that. And yeah. People making excuses because they say the profession of this young woman. Yeah, okay, I feel you. I'm not saying she's an angel. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is she can't set you up if you ain't there. She can't set you up if you ain't there. That's all I'm saying. And to the people saying, "Tim Black," well, a lot of people talking about the racial dynamic, and I know I said I was done, but I gotta say, folks, the reason why people say he need to mess with a black woman is a lot of reasons for it. I want to check a couple people that are saying, you know, like black women would not hold him, you know, wouldn't out him or wouldn't try to get money. There are black women that would try to get money. The reason why, contrary to Dr. Umar and other people that are saying he need to be with a black woman, the reason why he should be with a black woman is not a good reason. You're making it sound like he was with a black woman, there would be no problems. There could be problems. But the reason why he would not be in such jeopardy is because people would not react the same. And that's not a positive. That's a negative. You understand what I'm saying? That's a negative because in defense of sisters, right? If it was a black woman who made the allegations, there'll be some, based on their racial bias, would deny that that sister was being honest. Okay? So there's some of us who are looking at it one way. They're saying he should be with a sister, and if he was with a sister, he would have avoided this. Yeah, but you don't understand why. He may have avoided it because no one would listen to her when she made her allegations. That's the difference. They'd be far less believable because people don't believe women the way they believe. They don't believe black women. A large segment of our society doesn't believe black women like they believe white women. And so that's not so. So when you're saying, hey, Shannon should have been with a black woman. Yeah, well, I don't know. Because if you're going to be disrespectful, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Shannon, he said it was all consensual. They just role playing. Okay. But some people are saying you should have been with a black woman. This would have never happened. And I'm saying it could have happened. I just want to clarify. Some of the reasons why it may not have happened. Something I want to point out. I want to make this not just about Shannon Sharpe. I want us to think for a moment, go a little deeper than that, and realize one of the reasons why people saying that they're not getting it is that black women are not given the same. They're not given the same protection. Okay. The great comedian Patrice O'Neal said it best. I'll look for you, but the Coast Guard ain't. Those who know. It's a great bit by Patrice O'Neal that commented about missing women and how a white woman's missing. They call out everybody to look. A black woman's missing. They don't look that long. And hey, we all know what happens if guys are missing, so I guess. That's all I got on it. I'm sure you'll let me know what I missed, what I didn't get, what I got right, everything. It's all good. Remember, this is just my opinions. I try to give you the facts and the updates, but some of this is just my opinion. That's all it is. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty, even Shannon Sharpe. All right. Now, I got a little bit of politics, if anybody's here for that. Let's roll. Now will be a good time to hit the like button, guys, because this show is not about bragging rights. I don't need no bragging rights. What I need is the algorithm to let people know that it's a black man doing a show that's pretty good called The Tim Black Show. Oh, God, I'm glad I paused. I got a new segment, y'all. I have a new segment.
Next on deck with Tim Black. Tim Black's King of Petty Award.
Tim Black's King of Petty Award.
That's right, guys. We got the King of Petty Award here. Tim Black's King of Petty Award goes to Skip Bayless, folks.
Hi, I'm Skip.
I'm Ernestine.
And this is Hazel, our referee. And guess what? Skip versus Ernestine, our show, has a new home. We have graduated. We're now on our own YouTube channel.
Yay. Thank you for making it a success.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
We do love you. Sometimes we struggle to love each other because there's nothing like this show out there. We do battle, but we do love. We love each other hard. This becomes sort of relationship therapy without a therapist.
Well, we have a couch.
But we have a couch. We're on the couch.
It's like we have a therapist, but no therapist, but a couch.
So you can join us in our home on our couch by going to youtube.com/@Skip versus Ernestine. That's youtube.com/@Skip versus Ernestine.
So please subscribe. We appreciate it greatly.
Please subscribe.
All three of us.
Yes, and we will see you on our new YouTube channel if we're still speaking.
We'll be speaking, don't worry.
We hope so.
Tim Black's King of Petty Award.
Tim Black's King of Petty Award.
Hey, man, you got to admit, that was kind of petty. That's the King of Petty, right?
Next.
That's my first King of Petty award award winner. I got to give it to Skip Bayless, man. That was petty as hell. Look. I didn't know that Skip Bayless even had a YouTube channel. And I think many people didn't know he had a YouTube channel. But he took today, with probably, arguably, the worst day of his former co-host's life to announce it. All right? That's petty, Johnson. That is the petty of the petty. That is petty pettigrass. All right? That's petty right. All right? That's Andrea Petty. That is Petty Arnaz. That is petty. Goodness gracious, Johnson. So yeah. But I guess in the world of media, when your name is lit, yeah, you go for it, right? But damn, it's petty. Give it up for Skip Bayless, y'all. I tell you, son, I told you how media business is. See how I'm saying? These people cutthroat, man. Launched this podcast on the day his former partner is staring at the back door, staring at the front door. Main source, large professor. All right, guys, let's go. Let's get into a little bit of politics. What the hell? Let's get some politics.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
But I think it's another nail, especially in the confidence that people have in corporate media, the trust that they have in corporate media. And I think that is why folks like you over here on Substack doing extremely well. I'm doing okay on Substack. Also,
you're doing
on
great.
YouTube, doing
Watch
well.
done on Substack.
Yeah.
Watch done on YouTube.
Yeah. And so I think that's why we're having such success. And they don't care if you're on the North Lawn and the South Lawn of the White House with pancake makeup on and all the lights and the shiny desks. They want people they like, they trust, and they care about. And I think that's figures like us. People can trust that I'm going to tell them the truth. I'm also not going to bombard them with frivolous stuff. I'm not going to have false equivalency on my show. I'm just not going to do it. And I think people like that.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, man. I can't believe that Acosta and Don Lemon actually think people like them and trust them. Like, in what world do people like and trust you guys? No, you both got fired for reasons. No. You're not super duper trusted, and people are not looking and checking for you, Don. You know what I'm saying? I see you do a live broadcast and could barely get a few thousand. I see Willie D do bigger numbers. Okay, that's no diss to Willie D, but Willie D ain't put a record out since I had a hot top fade. That's his last record. All right, so you no, and no, it's not symbolic. You guys having Substack. I mean, basically, you guys just pump each other's stuff up. You're artificially inflated by other people in the media business that help you out. How many people actually trust Don Lemon's reporting? Yeah, man, you guys are full of it, man. Speaking as a true independent who you try to be, you pretend to be an independent reporter. You're not an independent reporter, Don Lemon. Neither are you, Costa. One guy got his bones by going after Trump unsuccessfully, and the other guy got his bones by going after Trump. Both of y'all went after Trump for a living. At least it seems that's what your major claim to fame has been in the last 3 years. And that's not enough to endear you to the public, not in my opinion. Maybe to some Democrats. Maybe Democrats love you. But generally speaking, as an independent, somebody who does not line up on either side of the aisle, someone who is arguably, like, straight up, guys, I'm a Democratic Party hater. But if I thought that Don Lemon was a badass journalist, he was doing it, he was amazing, and that Acosta was amazing too, I'd give them their props. I do not. They both very, 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 very rarely get anything Like, they very rarely step outside their own biases. They very rarely. Don still sounds like he's at CNN. And so does Costa. And that's not what people are looking for. People want true, authentic voices. Not warmed over, dejected former CNN voices. They want the real deal. And that's not what you guys give. So, no. But it is funny just to hear you say it like, hey, that's why they tune into us, because we're so trusted. Yeah, we're great. People like us. People love us. They feel like they know us. They don't know you. Bunch of couple of elites. They don't know you. And that's what people are supposed to say about you. You're not supposed to say about yourself. Other people are supposed to big you up and tell you how much they love you and like you and trust you. You're not supposed to say they trust you. How do you know they trust you? Who says they trust you? The lemon heads? The costronauts? Does Costas even have a name for his people? I don't know. All right. Next. Yeah, everybody wants to pretend to be independent media when they get fired. Everybody wants to be a whistleblower after they get fired. Here's a hint. You can't be a whistleblower if you ain't got a whistle. They took your whistle. You can't whistleblow without a whistle. You either, Costa. All right. Not to be outdone, let's go to this guy.
Now, in this land of the free and home of the brave, we have university students being swept up, shoved into unmarked vans, and fathers being tossed into Salvadorian gulags without a hint of due process.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
I remember when this fruitcake, when I say that, I mean fruity as in brains. You know, it's loopy. In my opinion, Walls is loopy. I don't trust him around the kids. Here's the thing, man. A lot of people were saying they liked him. Oh, wow. He's a saving grace. It gave them an excuse to go vote for Kamala Harris, which is when I knew I had to get as far away from those type of people, because I totally disagree with their politics. And now we got him up here now pretending that the El Salvadorian MS-13 gang member is just a father. You know what? Just because you made kids doesn't make you a saint. And it doesn't mean he's not an MS-13 gang member. Hell, roaches make kids. What's that prove? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean he's a good guy. That doesn't mean he's not an MS-13 gang member. MS-13 gang members probably have a lot of kids. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean he's not affiliated. All right. And another thing, you know, there's been a lot of people who got deported, you know, under presidents. Here goes a note for the people in the GED section. Just for anybody who wants to, like, keep count. 12.3 million deportations. That's right. 0 injunctions for Bill Clinton. Bush had 10.3 million deportations. 0 injunctions. Obama, 5.3 million deportations. 0 injunctions. Trump comes along in his second term, he does 100,000 deportations. And how many injunctions does he have? I can't see the number. More than them. He has more injunctions than all of them. Which is, I forget the number. I can't even see it. What's the number here for that? Guess it's important to know the number, Tim, if you're going to make the claim. Okay, so how many? Do I have it? I have it here somewhere. What's the number that Trump ended up in injunctions? 30 times. So he got 30. Trump got 30 injunctions, that's court orders, against his deportation. 30 of them. Why? Why? Huh? More courts, fewer removals. The numbers say it all, folks. It is what it is. So, yeah, you got Tim Walz up here complaining about due process. The due process, and look, let's be clear, guys. Let's be clear. When people are talking about the due process for Abrego Garcia, what they're leaving out is the due process is deportation. There's no due process for deportation. If you have a deportation order, which is what this guy had, there is no other process. Stop saying he didn't get process. A deportation is akin to a warrant. If you get a warrant, you're an American citizen, you go to court, they lock you in jail, then if you make bail, they may decide they're going to give you bail in that. That is your due process. For a person who is undocumented, someone who has a deportation order, an order for removal, the process is to be removed. Now, if he should go to jail in El Salvador, that's the debate. That's the debate. But if he had in place a deportation order already out by a court, signed, then that, damn it, is the process. The process is kick rocks. And this guy Walls is grandstanding. He's grandstanding for no reason at all. The facts are not on his side. Now, if he did not have a deportation order, if there was no order for him to be deported, that's a different story. That would be different. All right. So now we're deporting people without orders? That's a problem. That's a problem. All right, let's go. What else does Tim Walls have to say?
So I want to be real clear about this. If you say you love freedom, but you don't believe freedom is for everybody, then the thing you love isn't freedom, it's privilege.
So now we want to be privileged because we don't want people that aren't citizens to come to this country and not face deportation if they're here illegally. That's privilege. Hey, man, you know, speaking as a person who's a descendant of folks who were treated with no civil rights, when we finally did get civil rights, for those civil rights to mean anything, that has to mean the whole world doesn't get the same rights we get if they're not citizens of the same country that we bled for. Yeah, if I'm descendant of people, I'm a descendant of people that had to fight for their civil rights, who lived and died and fought in wars, every war that we've had in this country. Other people that come to this country who have not died and fought in wars to defend this country should not be privy to the same rights as me. If so, what good is having civil rights? What good is being a citizen if other people get the same treatment, if other people get the same consideration? No. Citizenship matters, and so should that you've been a part of this country, putting in on the kitty, paying into the system, that you've been a part of the fabric of the country, that you have your blood and your roots in the country matters. If not, then people can just show up at your house and just take over your house and just take over the deed of your house. What stops them? I don't understand the logic of people that want to agree with this. These people just see the world as flat. It's very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. And when you say things like this, if you're going to say them, you can't say them around black people. No, Walls should not be able to say dumb things like this around black people. And black people need to sit down. It's only the dumb Democrats, black Democrats, that are the only black people that stand up for this. Because the rest of us know that it's not about politics. It's about black Americans have given enough to the United States that other people should not be able to just come in and take our spot, just come in and just move us abruptly out the way and zoom past us. That is a problem. And I'm not saying it's the problem of the migrant. It's a problem of our laws in this country. It's a problem of those employers that hire them, who discriminate against black Americans who would rather hire a person and underpay them. It's also a problem of all Americans who understand how corporations take advantage of these people and play them against the rest of us in order to get a product out the door or get their business running at a higher profit margin. So that's what it is at the end of the day. It's not about hating migrants. It's about hating those that take advantage and undermine our citizenship and take advantage and make it so that we have a harder time feeding ourselves, clothing ourselves in this system. So that's what it is. So anyway.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
They do know. So I guess he's saying he's out. So then who's in? I'll tell you who wants to be in. Co-founder of the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Since Kamala Harris, kind of stunk up the place during her run, which was horrible. Okay, no one's going to deny that. And the failures of the Joe Biden administration at large, there really is no de facto leader of the Democratic Party. Some people are vying for it. Some people say it's AOC. Others say it's Jasmine Crockett. Well, not so fast. Here goes Chuck Uygur. You can't make this shit up. Chuck Uygur he's claiming he's going to fix the Democrats. Man, what is really going on here, man? I think it's just the audacity of nope. But let's hear him out, guys. Let's hear his great ideas.
Just an hour ago, he launched what he's calling a rebellion movement. I'd say that's redundant. I think he just needs rebellion. He is certain that he knows how to put Democrats back on the path to victory. He is here by the ever reasonable, always optimistic Geraldo Rivera. It is good to have you both. Geraldo, you listen to Cenk's pitch, and then we'll pick at him about it. Cenk, first of all, thank you for doing something. What's the rebellion? Why do you think you can take over the party?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. So we need a rebellion because obviously this Democratic Party isn't working. It's at 26%. They lost to Donald Trump. They lost the popular vote, all 7 swing states. So what do they need? I believe that they need economic populism. Donald Trump pretended to be a populist, but as you see now, he isn't. He's passing $5.5 trillion in tax cuts. Today he said, oh, no, of course we're not going to raise taxes on the rich. So it's the same old Republican Party giving away trillions of dollars to the rich and to corporations. But this country wants populism. And the correct answer, in my opinion, is left-wing populism. So what does that mean? It just means bring the Democratic Party back to its roots. What we're going with on rebellionpact.com is the 6 most popular proposals Democrats have, which, by the way, a lot of independents agree with, a lot of even Republicans agree with. So we're not just planning to run in blue districts as we did when I started Just Democrats. We're planning to run in purple districts and red districts. So higher wages, paid family leave, make sure that we got lower drug prices by negotiating at Medicare, lower housing prices, money out of politics, anti-war. This is a super popular plank, and now we're joined by Ro Khanna, who has joined the rebellion, and he's the first sitting congressman to do that. And on top of that, we've got Richard Ojeda running in North Carolina 9th District. That's an R+10, but we're going to win that district. We're being very bold here. And when we win those purple and red districts, we're going to make a case to the American people. We're leading. We have a plan. We already displaced Trump's power in Congress in 2026. Now trust us to run the party in 2028, and we'll bring it back to what it used to be, representing the average man.
So my question for him, Geraldo, is he needs a top dog. I'm wondering if he says it's him or has he got somebody else in mind. But what do you think, Geraldo?
Well, I think Ro Khanna, if indeed the congressman from Silicon Valley has joined this rebellion, I think that is a very impressive gesture. He's my favorite lawman. I believe that he has a tremendous future, and he seems like a pragmatic progressive, not a crazy person. I also think that you gave just maybe short shrift to the establishment Democrats. I think either Gavin Newsom or Josh Shapiro could beat Trump if the election were held right now. I think that Trump's definitely tanked a lot of his support, along with the stock market. And the one thing you can't mess with is people's financial security, particularly because so many of the activists or most reliable voters are older folks who are counting on a 401k or IRA or whatever it is to see them through. So I don't think, and I also think that the rebellion space is kind of taken up now by Bernie Sanders and AOC getting, energized crowds in the tens of thousands. All due respect, Jake, I'm a fan of yours. I don't expect that you'd be getting much more than, in the hundreds, maybe the low thousands. I don't see you, steaming them up. Maybe a lot's changed since I've heard you speak to crowds. But it just, I don't know. I think Trump is beatable. He's beatable on brass tacks.
He's
issues.
beatable.
He's beatable.
Yeah, man. Guys, I'm looking at it Geraldo. Okay, I'm looking at what they're saying here, and look, I get the idea. There's a vacuum right now, and people need to fill it, and it's an opportunity to make a play of something different that can be brought to the table. And honestly, the Democrats are pretty much sticking up the place. And who's got a better idea? Somebody bring up some better ideas. Here's the problem with it. And like Ro Khanna, I got respect for Ro Khanna. We don't agree with everything, or I don't agree with everything that Ro Khanna does or says or whatever. But Ro Khanna was always somebody to sit down and talk to me about issues. He used to come on the channel a lot. And I respect the hell out of Ro Khanna being open and being someone who will have dialogue. Even when things can get a little adversarial and tough questions, he will answer the tough questions. Richard Ojeda, another guy. He was a working class type of guy. It's one thing I like about Ojeda, right? A vet, scrappy guy. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was in West Virginia. They say he's in Carolina. I think it was North Carolina. He just said, interesting. I like Ojeda. You know what I'm saying? Another guy I could talk to. But the problem I have with this, and I don't know anything about it, I'm pretty sure I know what policies Jank's going to be about. Where the black people at? Yeah, that's the same thing I say about Bernie Sanders and AOC. Okay, in order to make any noise, black Americans must be at the table, and they can't be establishment black folks either. Now, it can't be the establishment. It has to be black folks that are actually going to stand up for black issues and be concerned to the point where they are putting that first, above their own self-interest, above their own cushy job, before their own wallets. They got to be serious about that. And that's not what I've seen with the Young Turks or with what's that thing they had before? They had the thing he did with Kyle Kalinske. This is not the first time that Cenk Uygur has teamed up. The Justice Democrats is what it was called. Once again, where was the black representation for that? You can see it's vastly missing from Bernie Sanders and AOC's events. So how are you going to fill that? And you can't go get sanitized black folks either. Don't go get the black folks that can't go get black folks. You understand what I'm saying? That's the problem. So I see a vulnerability in this to begin with. And look, and I don't believe, remember, I'm a Democratic Party hater. I don't believe the Democratic Party is reformable. Now from the inside, maybe from the outside with enough pressure. That's what I believe. I believe it's reformable from the outside with a lot of pressure from competition. That'll make them change because they ain't going to change on their own, Johnson. They just fold you in and absorb your life force. That's what they do. It's like, I don't know, what's the analogy for it? I don't know, but they consume you. They eat you, make you part of, like The Thing. Remember The Thing? John Carpenter's The Thing? When it squirts on you, gets that liquid on you, if they don't check on you in time, you become part of it. And then it looks like you, and it's taking over you. And that's what happens to even people with the best intentions when it comes to the Democratic Party. So, yeah, I'm not with Cenk Uygur here in that way. I don't know how you avoid it. And that's another thing. I don't even know if that's what he wants to do. Does he even want to avoid it? Is this just a play to keep things interesting? I don't know. And what's he talking about beating Trump? Trump is in his last term. How are you going to beat a guy who quit, who's done? There's no one to beat.
This thing terribly. He's screwing it up. We'll see what he does. He's beatable because he can't run. So, Cenk, the central theory, though, is how do you displace AOC and Bernie?
So there's no need to displace AOC and Bernie. I don't have any problem with what they're doing. I think they're doing a great job with the rallies. You guys and I might disagree on some of that, but this has absolutely nothing to do with me. I'm part of the people who founded this organization, and I'm on the board of it. Cara Eastman, another great progressive Democrat, is the executive director right now. Brianna Wu's on the board with me. So this is a giant organization, and we've got one other candidate coming out on May Day. He's another excellent populist. So this is not vis-a-vis Bernie or AOC at all. But it's also not guys, we're going for economic populism. So I'm planting our flag here, and I'm saying if you believe we should go with our most popular policies, and you believe we should go with economic populism, and you think that should be our focus, then come to rebellionpact.com. We're accepting candidates, we're accepting volunteers, and obviously we'll take donations as well. But Ro Khanna is a super strong voice, and I love what Geraldo said about him. And he's so reasonable, he's so pragmatic, and he puts a great face to progressivism.
See, I got problems, man, when I hear people talk about reasonableness. Reasonable, we don't need reasonable, we need fired up. We need people that are willing to go against the status quo. That's what you need, man, or no one's interested. Now, I can speak, I think I can speak for some people, some of us black Americans, and some of my working class white Americans as well. The culture looks good. Couch look good. Couch look comfortable. Couch look good these days. If that's all you got is AOC talking this airy nonsense and Bernie on his way out the door doing his greatest hits. Up there looking like Frank Sinatra doing his greatest hits on his way out the door. I did it my way. No one's dancing to it other than the usual suspects. And that's not going to win anybody's election. So no, not feeling it, man. Not feeling it at all.
And shows people, hey, look, he calls it economic patriotism. So I think he's one of the really bright lights in our party, and I'm thrilled.
Maybe. I think that the Republicans are square. Trump is one in a trillion. He's the only movie star they've had since Ronald Reagan, the only one they're likely to have going forward. But I don't see where you squeeze in. I think when you're getting a new product in a market, you go to the store, you go to the Target, wherever it is. Where's my space in the shelf? I'm not sure where the rebellious
what kind of ketchup
Democrat space in the
What kind
shelf
of ketchup are you, Cenk?
Yeah, so some of those are good questions, Geraldo. So first of all, on culture wars, this group isn't doing culture wars. We're focusing on economic issues. So we're not interested in having those debates that are wedge issues that drive us apart. And we talk to the other side. We're willing to talk to everybody. I took a lot of heat for going on right-wing podcasts, independent podcasts, and I'm totally in favor of that. We lost the popular vote. Good. We need to regain the popular vote. And you do that by reaching out to independents. At this point, Donald Trump is intensely unpopular. Last poll that came out is he's at 40%.
Yeah, that's not going to hold, though. It's not going to stay that way. All it takes is a win, and he's right back in it, Johnson. Yeah, that's all it takes is a win. Let any of his recent stuff, that's all news cycle stuff. He's the president of the United States. Yeah, you can't make the argument that, oh, he's so far gone, it's over. Yeah, he's taking a hit right now in the polls. I admit that. Trump is taking a hit in the polls, but it won't hold. It's not going to stay there. All it takes is one win. If he gets the Ukraine win, if he gets an actual end of the Ukraine war, bam, to the moon, Alice. That's it. A turnaround in the economy, boom, to the moon, Alice. Like he has all these opportunities just sitting there. If any of them come in for him, he's back up. But at the end of the day, he's got, another year and a half, 18 months? I mean, it don't matter till the midterms come a knocking. What can you do? Nothing. He's in power, you're not. You got to deal with it. All right, guys. Let me know what you think about this segment in the comment section, guys. Right now would be a good time for you guys to go ahead, if you're new to the show, hit the button, subscribe to this channel, become members of the Tim Black Show by joining us on Patreon at Tim's Take Live on Patreon. Yeah, this channel has been around since it was called Tim's Take Live, which is back in 2012. All right. You can also join right here on Facebook. I got people on Facebook as well. So we're all over the place, man. I want to know what my people are. My people still here? All right, guys. I think I have like one or two more things I want to run by you before we end the night. I got that clip of Shannon Sharpe. I just saw it. Because I know there'll be people that don't believe me when I say, yeah, Shannon was like really not caring a whole lot.
I keep it on.
Yeah. Here we go. That's going to come up. This is him on his nightcap with Ocho Cinco. And something about that conversation.
Everybody always talk about date your age. Well, I want to date my wage. I'm finna shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right there.
Where y'all at? Hey, chat, where they at?
See, that's what I don't get, man. So you mean the OnlyFans motto is your wage? It sounds like you're tricking. Sound like he was tricking, man. Y'all saw this out here. No one sent it to me. No one sent me this. I didn't get this, man. But there he is saying, I want to date my wage. Yeah, see, I knew I had that clip somewhere around here. It just sounds weird.
Everybody always talk about date your age. Well, I want to date my wage. I'm finna shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right there.
Where y'all at? Hey, chat, where they at?
Hold on. Cause you know I keep it on me now.
Yeah.
I keep it on me. You want to date your what?
I want to date my wage, not my age. I want to date my wage. So where are they? Cause y'all always talking about date your age. I want to date my wage. So come on with it.
Well, you talking?
As a matter of fact, I'm taking applicants as we speak.
Well, you talking spicy tonight, boy.
I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Well, what, Gabby?
You're coming to LA tomorrow?
Hey, look, man. I don't have permission to play that, but Jesus Christ, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I know you heard this before, but I'm gonna double down on it, man. The internet is undefeated. All right, you hear me? The creativity of the internet, they are roasting. Shannon Sharpe is already extra crispy. He's crunchy crispy now. They are roasting Shannon Sharpe. And we both dark skin, so I can say it. They are roasting him right now. But folks, let me know what y'all think about this whole date my wage. You know, and I'm not saying you got, I'm not saying virtuous and, I'm not even trying to be on that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get a virtuous woman. I'm not even saying that. But what I'm saying is, how is the OnlyFans model dating your wage? Yeah. Tracy Ellis Ross is out there. Oh! But she too old for Tracy Ellis Ross is too old for Shannon. He ain't interested. She too old. You want to date Glorilla. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett's available. Isn't Jasmine Crockett single? Too old. She 43, 44. She too old. All right, guys. All right, that's it. I'm going to leave it there, man. That's all I got. All right, guys, let's go to the comment section and see what people are talking about. Who's here? Anybody say anything that, any comments? What do we got here? We got Donald Moore. It is a shame about Shannon Sharpe's situation. However, he should know the only thing a 19-year-old should do for a 56-year-old is the dishes. Or go get her mother. Or her grandmother. I don't know, man. Hey, real talk, man. I'm keeping it real. Yo, real talk. The only thing a 19-year-old can do for me is go get her grandmother. And I'm married, so I guess it don't apply. But I'm saying that's it. Right? Now, Aileen Dorset said, super sticker. Thank you, Aileen. Black Mamba's in the house. Go get a Tim Black mug, Johnson. I got to tell everybody, go get a Tim Black mug. Go to timblackmug.com. Get your mug. 20 to the door. 20 to your door. And Black Mama, thank you for everything you do, sister. You are amazing. I don't even know what I did in a past life that gets me a Black Mama in this current life, but I appreciate you. Trust No Parties in the building. What's up, Trust? How you doing, fam? Lou Maldonado's in the building. Thank you, Lou, for what you do, fam. Thanks for supporting this show. And Winnie 015 Samuel hooked the brother up with $9.99 to the Independent Media Show, TTL Media, Tim Black Show. Thank you for supporting what we're doing, my friend. I appreciate you. Real talk, real talk. We get any new members tonight? Did anyone sign up who wasn't already signed up? We get any new members tonight? I'm sure we got at least 1 or 2 new members, right? Did we do it? Am I promoting the memberships enough? Buck, am I telling people to become members? Am I advertising, supporting? They say, Tim, you don't push yourself enough. You don't tell people stuff, Tim. You just talk and give people content, but you don't do the business side enough, Tim Black. You got to do the business of the business, Tim Black. Do the business of the business. So look, guys, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. It's $5 a month to become a VIP member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. All you got to do is sign up here on YouTube, or go to Tim's Take Live, or go to jointimblack.com. Jointimblack.com will take you right there, guys. And yeah, hey, look, hey, and if you want to give $20 a month, that's cool too. But we start at $5. Hey, got a couple hundred laying around? We'll take it. Become an executive or an associate producer of the Tim Black Show. We got levels. We got levels. And we're working on trying to create more community and also more access to your Uncle Tim, right? So, hey, we can work together. Go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the show, or join right here on YouTube. Let's make it happen. What about my live people, man? Who's live? Who's in the building? What's the word, fam? Jamal Johnson says, I can't believe you're up to 193,000, Johnson. And you know what happened, Jay? Now it don't even matter, fam. Now it's not even about subscribers. It's about who tunes into your content. Because the subscribers don't matter. It's each piece of content does what it does. But yeah, I appreciate you though, fam. Thank you. Thank you for being a long-time viewer of the show, my friend. Levels like Goku, my guy. Thank you, Bodista FM. Wrong Station says, hey, Tim, how goes it? How goes it, my friend? Good to see you as always. Always, my friend. RBW says, if you play in the snow too long, you're going to get frostbite. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? People be tripping. Black Mamba just gave somebody a TV membership. Go ahead, Black Mamba. Always doing the love for people, helping people out, making people understand, get the word out, spreading the word, keeping people up on game. Then people know about the show, sharing great content. Thank you, Black Mamba, for what you do. M. Flournoy in the house. Hey, Black Mamba. Always. Herschel Reed. Thank you, Herschel Reed. Become a member of the show, Herschel. Robert H. Robert W. Nidra, thank you. Jorge said he's not black. He's Shannon Sharpe. Man. I love my people, man. My people got great sense of humor. They got great timing. I got great people, man. That's all I gotta say. Hey, Quentin, what's happening, Quentin? Quentin says nobody's flaming her for saying she only dates younger guys and that men her age have toxic masculinity. You know what? I was going to cover it. You know what I'm saying? And I got no problems flaming her for it. But I tell you this, here's the thing, though. I don't think she meant 19. Like, I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she meant 19, fam. Do you think, look, Quentin, you really think she meant 19, fam? Now, that toxic masculinity stuff, she just saying some stuff she heard people say. Yeah, man, like people repeat nonsense that they think is acceptable code language of them people. You know what I'm saying? The code language of the elites of Democrats, right? That's all she doing. Letting you know off the top that she ain't an individual. She roll with them people. That's what I took away from her statement. So yeah. And she got a lot of baggage with her and a lot of mess with her, obviously. And to be honest, I don't think a lot of people would put up with it. So she got a lot of older guys my age, they're not gonna put up with that. Why would you be with somebody whose whole thing is, can't nobody tell me nothing? I don't do no traditional roles. And I don't do, all this you don't do stuff. She seems to me like somebody who would lead with all the stuff she don't do. like she talking to her child. And I just get up and walk away. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm at the wrong table. My bad. You have a good night. I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I would not. And I think that's what older dudes been doing to her. You know what I'm saying? That might have been cute when she was in her 30s. She in her 50s still doing that? Oh, come on, Johnson. Come on. Yeah, she date young guys who are broke, who just happen to be with her. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't gonna work for older, successful men. It's just not. It's not what we're looking for. So she can do all that she wants to. Show off, get you a youngin' that'll listen. You can say, heel, boy, heel. Sit, boy, sit. You know, talk to him any old kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And he happy to do it because he want to drive your car. You know what I'm saying? He want to wear his Timberlands, come to bed in Timberlands, you know, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Still drinking Hennessy. You know, my Henny days is over. You know, it's all new for him. But yeah. But the young guys grow up too. They grow up too. They can't build a life with Tracy Ellis Ross. Can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come. Look, the young guys she get are just guys, I would think. Fresh out, need a place to stay. Or just got big eyes and want to be with somebody with big eyes. You know what I'm saying? That's just about it. But yeah, but honestly though, Q, real talk, Q, I don't think she be dating 19-year-olds or 20-year-olds. Not 20. Oh, I don't think. I could be wrong though, fam. I could be wrong, fam. You know what I'm saying? I admit, I don't know. She could be. Tito says, I should have noticed your avatar. How chauvinistic of me. Tito Hornbuckle in the house. Thank you, Tito, for the love. And shout out to the Black Mamba as always. Hey, look, man. Thank you, Black Mamba, for hooking somebody up with a membership. That's it, man. It's a long night. Thank you, Buck. Thank you, Black Mamba, for hanging in there with us. Look, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. It is what it is. Tune in. I got nothing but love for you. And like always, don't let anybody take your cornbread. That's your cornbread, fam. Keep your cornbread. And as a proud girl mom, girl dad, that's how you say it? Is a girl dad? Yeah. I got sons, I got daughters. I got a lot of love. And but I like to end my show by saying, where my ladies at? Where are my ladies? Oh.